Welcome back to Fruitful Living. I'm Dawn, and today we're diving into the very first root of a blessed life. Monday, we talked about how Jesus flips the world's script. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Let's just sit with that for a second. We live in a world that tells us to be your own boss, believe in yourself, and hustle until you make it. The world teaches that the blessed are confident, self-made, and have it all together. But Jesus looked at the crowd of tired and stressed, the ones who felt like they were failing, and said, you're the ones who are actually close to the kingdom. When was the last time you felt completely 100% dependent on God? Not the, I've got this, but God, please bless it kind of prayer, but the, God, if you don't show up, I have nothing kind of prayer. That place of total dependency is exactly what we're talking about today. Let's clear some things up though. Being poor in spirit isn't having low self-esteem. It's not about walking around saying, I'm a terrible person. In the Greek, the word for poor here is ptochos. It doesn't just mean someone who is working hard, but hardly getting by. It's talking about an absolute destitute, beggar, someone who has nothing and knows it. Imagine someone crouched in a corner with their hands out, completely reliant on the mercy of others. When Jesus says we must be poor in spirit, he's saying we must come to God with empty hands. Poor in spirit, nothing to give but absolute control to him. The biggest enemy to a fruitful life is our pride, our ego, our self-sufficiency. I've got this. I can do it myself. Our pride acts like a neon no vacancy sign blinking on the door of our hearts. Think about the difference between a sponge that's already soaked and one that is like totally dry. The soaked one can't take in anything new. But the dry sponge, it's ready to soak up water. It's interesting to look at Luke's version of this sermon. Verse 20 of chapter 6, Luke simply says, "Blessed are the poor," while Matthew calls out the spiritual connection. Luke reminds us that those who have very little in this world often have a spiritual head start. Why? Because when they don't have a big bank account or status in the world to lean on, we're forced to lean on God. We see this all through Scripture. Look at King David. He had everything: power, money, fame. But in Psalm 51, after his greatest failure, he didn't lean on his status. Verse 17, he cried out, "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. David realized that being a king meant nothing if his spirit wasn't poor before God. Or think of Job. He lost everything. And in that brokenness, he finally saw God in a way he had never before when he was rich. Chapter 42, verse 5, he said, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." The emptiness of his circumstances led to the fullness of his vision. Notice Jesus doesn't say, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs will be the kingdom." He says, "For theirs is the kingdom." This isn't a reward you earn later for being humble today. It's today's reality. The moment you admit, "Lord, I can't do this on my own," you have stepped inside the gates of his kingdom. You have shifted from the kingdom of me to the kingdom of he. Look at the baggage you carry. What are you trying to handle with your own strength? Is it a relationship you're trying to fix? Is it a career goal you're white-knuckling? Is it a habit you're trying to break through sheer willpower? Coming to God in spiritual poverty means dropping those bags at his feet and saying, "I am an absolute beggar here, Lord. I need your grace to even take the next step." There is a relief in being poor in spirit. It means the pressure is off. You don't have to be the hero of your own story anymore. You just have to be the one who shows up with empty hands, ready to receive. Next week, we're going to look at the next step in this progression, because once we realize our need for God, it naturally leads us to a place of mourning. We'll talk about why the blessed are those who mourn isn't as depressing as it sounds. It actually is the path to the deepest comfort you'll ever know. Until next time, stay fruitful.